Yo, we live, we live. Live like live five, man. First time going live ever. See how it goes. Let me check something on my phone right quick. Hope I'm not too loud. Hope I'm not too loud. It's right there. See what's going on. Hope I'm not too loud. All right, man. Let's get into it. So I made a couple of videos, man, about the Shannon Sharpe situation. You know what I mean? Shannon Sharpe, who's a NFL Hall of Famer, media personality on TV and stuff like that. Also got his own podcast. You know, everybody kind of know what's going on in the media right now. Shannon Sharpe was being sued by a young lady that he pursued, and they had, sexual relationship going on. Was it consensual, or was it Shannon just took advantage of her? I don't know, man. A lot of people got mixed talking points about it, you know what I'm saying? But I have the court document right here, man. I'm just gonna go over it, you know what I'm saying, and we'll go from there. So this right here is a document, man. Plaintiff Jane Doe, but we already know her name is Gabriella Zanga. I can't really pronounce her last name. I ain't gonna lie to you. Against Shannon Sharpe, man. Kind of gonna brief through it, because it's like 14 pages, and I don't want to read all of it. You know what I mean? I try to see if I can read the good points. So plaintiff Jane Doe complains of defendant Shannon Sharpe, and for the cause of action, will respectfully show this honorable court the following: a woman can say yes to consensual relationships with a man 99 times, but when she says no, even once, that no mean no. That's a fact. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling the plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her. Wow. Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and raped the plaintiff despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. Wow. Sorry. So there's a video. I played in one of my videos, but it is more to it when he kind of really said it. You know what I'm saying? That he gonna really choke her. And I really thought that was very disturbing. You know what I mean? And that kind of like helps her argument a little bit on what really happened and why she really suing Shannon Sharpe for $50 million. You know what I'm saying? But let's go through this and I'll play a few other clips or whatever, you know what I mean? So defendant Shannon Sharpe is 56 years old. And when they met, she was 19. And right now, I think they dated for like 2 years. So she's about what, 2021. He claims to be one of the most successful sports medias in the country. Plaintiff is a young woman in her early 20s. In 2023, was working out at the gym in Los Angeles, California, when Sharpe approached her for the first time. Previously, Doe, I guess, they got Jane Doe or whatever. So Doe had noticed Sharpe watching her during her workouts. Sharpe was he was scoping the scene now. That's what it seemed like, huh? At this time, Doe was just 19 years old. At the time, she did not know who he was, only that he was another older man Googling her at the gym. Wow, okay. Jane Doe could tell Sharpe was much older than her. She found him physically intimidating. Eventually, he introduced himself. At his determined insistence, she gave him her number. Shannon Sharpe was very consistent, I see, huh? Over the next couple of weeks, Sharpe was insistent, constantly approached her at the gym and attempted to contact her frequently with phone calls and text messages, asking to meet up, unwillingly to take no for an answer. Eventually, plaintiff gave in and agreed to meet with Sharpe outside of the gym. However, before doing so, Sharpe demanded that those sign a non-disclosure agreement or NDA, something plaintiff found a bit concerning. She wondered why Sharpe was insistent on her signing an NDA. She refused despite his repeated efforts to get her to sign. She refused time and again. Eventually, he dropped the issue and invited her to his house. Wow. Okay. So I didn't notice right here that he wanted her to sign an NDA. So I'm guessing she's suing now and stuff like that. So she didn't sign it. And a lot of times when celebrities get these women or whoever to sign the NDAs, man, it's just kind of protect themselves, you know what I mean? Protect the celebrity or whatever. But in this case right here, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more on it, that Shannon offered her $10 million. You know what I mean? To not say anything, to not even file this complaint. You know what I mean? But we'll talk more into that because Shannon Sharpe, lawyer, did speak in a video clip I'm gonna play. So what followed was the beginning of a rocky consensual relationship that lasted 2 years. And the relationship was very unequal. Sharpe is more than 30 years older, considerably wealthier, is physically much larger, and especially stronger. Sharpe is famous and has power. So she already knew, Shannon Sharpe was the older guy. But I guess he couldn't take no for an answer, or he was very consistent. She gave in and gave him her number. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I said, she was 19 at the time. I mean, should she had given Shannon Sharpe her number? I mean, in my opinion, no. You know what I mean? This is a way older guy. You know what I mean? You working at the gym. I know it's other guys at the gym, and you could tell she's an attractive young lady at the time or whatever. Like, these guys maybe just want to have sex with you or whatever. You know what I mean? Just drooling over you, but I guess she gave in. I don't know why, but she did. So plaintiff and Sharpe saw each other on his terms and on his schedule as often as 4 times a week. Okay, wow. They sorry. Let me see if I can. She found him to be dishonest about his whereabouts. He would lie about seeing other women while insisting to her that she and he were exclusive. He often manipulated her, at times being sweet, loving to get what he wanted, and at other times being angry and aggressive to achieve his goals. She discovered over time that Sharpe was extremely emotional, possessed an uncontrollable temper. He displayed the characteristics of a true narcissist. Wow. Okay. He wielded his power, his influence, and his celebrity control to control the plaintiff and get exactly what he wanted. Whenever he wanted it, all the while jealousy guarding what he considered his for himself. I said this before, and I said this in two of my videos that I never really got that vibe from Shannon Sharpe. You know what I mean? Seen him on TV, seen him on his podcast, stuff like that. I don't know this guy. I just know him from TV or whatever, playing football. I never really got that side of him being aggressive. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it's like his demeanor can be different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how well do you really know a person? Like I said, I don't know this guy outside of work. There's no to see him on TV. So then 9 out of 10, it could be all the front. You know what I mean? Be on TV, all happy and smile and stuff like that. But behind the scenes, you can be a crazy person. So I'm guessing this is what she saw, What else? Let me see. Let me see. Sure, I figured out how. Okay. Wow, this is kind of interesting right here. She said by this point, Sharpe was no longer able to credibly maintain that the relationship was exclusive. He, at this point, accidentally and purposely to advance his career, went live on Instagram while having sex with another woman. Okay, this is when Shannon Sharpe went live one time. And I guess the woman was named Michelle, and they was kind of having sex or whatever. They didn't show no body parts or nothing like that. We just could hear him talking and calling the lady name. This was like last year sometime. It was all over the internet, which is crazy. So it wasn't this one. It wasn't this girl right here. It was somebody else. Sharpe flew into fits of anger when the plaintiff noted his infidelity to their relationship or called him out about his sexual activities. What had been once been the manipulation, control, and intimidation now became something far more dangerous and sinister. Sharpe even figured out how to get into Doe's apartment complex without her permission. And so Shannon was like kind of like, I guess, stalking her or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have keys to each other's apartment. Like, you just showing up without her permission. Like, what's going on here, man? This is really sounding kind of creepy. You know what I'm saying? So, what's so in October 2024, Shannon Sharpe violently sexually assaulted and annually raped plaintiff 2 different times in Las Vegas, Nevada, blatantly ignoring her request for him to stop. He did it again in January. Wow. Wow. This is wild, man. What else? What else she said? Okay. I should say I had to have sex with him. Okay. Plaintiff discovered that Sharpe had been secretly recording their sexual encounters without her consent. When she confronted him, he summarily dismissed her concerns, claiming the videos were for his own personal use. Wow, so he would videotape them having sex. Okay, Shannon, you really trying to do some porno here, huh? Wow. Yeah, man. This is kind of wild. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. In this documentary here, it kind of makes Shannon really seem um like a really I don't want to say a bad person, but it really makes him look not friendly. You know what I'm saying? And this girl, she's 19 at the time, so it's like she's very young, you know what I mean? And all the stuff that she's saying. Then again, I don't know if she's saying all this. I don't know, maybe her lawyer kind of type this up, you know what I mean? Make it really stick. So I can't really say, you know what I mean? But there was some text messages that she got out. I want to see that. Well, Shannon Sharpe released some text messages also. So when this document came out, Shannon, I guess, he was looking bad in the limelight. You know what I mean? So he released some text messages yesterday also showing that, you know, it ain't all what it seemed to be. You know, everything was consensual. Yeah. Let me pull that up right quick. TMZ got that. So Shannon Sharpe accuser confronted him over alleged rape. No means no. So these were the text messages right here that Shannon Sharpe released it right here. This is her right here in the blue. So she said, but I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my ASS. And you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. So you mean to tell me, Shannon, you're a multi-millionaire. Um, she's like 19, 20 at the time. And you didn't use no protection? Like, this is crazy, man. This is wild. And she's also a OnlyFans, so it's like you don't know what she doing. You know what I mean? I don't know I don't know what she doing on OnlyFans because I don't have one. I never looked at one. But I done heard some things about these women that be on there, you know, and they make money and stuff. You know, no judgment here, but I'm just saying, like, if that's what you want to do, then it is what it is. But Shannon Sharpe is a multi-millionaire, and he's dealing with an OnlyFans girl, and he having sex with a woman with no condom. Gosh, you gotta be crazy. She also said, I don't know how to process this. Can I call you? Shannon said. And see, this is some more text message that Shannon that she texted Shannon. She said, I want to be abused, daddy. I want to like some hardcore BDSM action though. Like some porno types. Yeah. I want you to be on, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy. I guess she sent him like a picture or whatever. You know what I mean? She want to be tied up. Yeah, man. This is you know, I already played it. on one of my videos that Shannon Sharpe made a response.
Where did you get those shoes?
And the question was no longer, can you pull them off? It was, how can you not?
At first, Sharpe
Because the
response
sneakers
about the
don't
whole
make you.
situation.
You make the sneakers. DSW, a shoe for every you. Where'd you get those shoes?
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
So that was Shannon Sharpe. I guess I can say little, but his response to the whole situation. And a lot of people said that, maybe he shouldn't have said anything. And it's like, at first, a lot of people saying he being blackmailed or whatever. You know what I mean? As a celebrity, when somebody come out and say something like this right here, that you raped them or whatever, as somebody who's not a celebrity, it's like, how can I say, don't come out? You know what I'm saying? Don't come out so fast and respond to what's going on. Should Shannon made a response like this for himself, or just had a lawyer type up some stuff and put it on Instagram and stuff like that? Probably, yeah. But I don't know. But this is I'll play a little clip that shows Shannon Sharpe lawyer kind of saying that he offered her $10 million. I can find that.
Gabby.
Well,
But this is the clip I had right here. You know what I'm saying? That her and Shannon Sharpe was talking, and she secretly recorded Shannon Sharpe. And this is when he said he gonna choke the F out of her. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what, Gabby?
well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did what you did to me.
Okay, well,
Well, what, Gabby?
Offer to settle these accusations.
Yes, there was a settlement offer made by Mr. Sharpe. I will only generally say to you that it was in the tens of millions of dollars demanded by the plaintiff.
So, see, this is kind of like, it's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, I think this is kind of hurting Shannon Sharpe because like you got his lawyer right here and saying that when it was in the meeting room, well, he wasn't in it. I guess it was Shannon Sharpe, other lawyers, that they offered her $10 million. So now I'm thinking, like, what does Shannon really have to hide? You know what I'm saying? You offer somebody $10 million. Like, that's wow. Like,
in return for her silence, that's under any definition commonly understood. That is blackmail. And Mr. Sharpe was willing to pay an amount in the tens of millions of dollars, but no final agreement could be reached. And we thought we were still in the middle of discussions when, without warning, the mediator, who's a retired judge, ourselves as lawyers, without any prior warning, still thinking that we were close to a final agreement, the plaintiff and her lawyer from Houston filed a case in Texas publicly accusing my client of lies and willful, harmful lies by using the rape word when it was she knows, 100% knows, and the evidence will show that she knew that this was entirely consensual. So we were of the belief on our side that we had an agreement without any warning. Not even the mediator, who is a retired judge, was given a warning out of courtesy. This case was filed and the public charges went throughout the media before we even knew that the discussions were over and the case had been filed.
Mr. Davis, last Friday, Front Office Sports reported Mr. Sharpe was in line for a $100 million deal for his podcast. On Sunday, the lawsuit was filed. Is there a timing issue here?
This is one of those two facts line up one after the other where everyone can draw their own reasonable inference. So I have a reasonable inference. It's my reasonable inference. Others might disagree that they're very related, that this plaintiff was looking for money. What she does on OnlyFans was for money in role-playing and virtual fantasy with men who pay her. At the end of the relationship, it's not known yet, but it is a fact that the plaintiff started to charge Mr. Sharpe money, so the relationship became transactional. This is who she is by the facts. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just describing two facts, that she charged him money or asked for money. She's on OnlyFans and charges people money to do role-playing, and that for that reason, I'm going to let the inference be decided by everybody that her knowledge that Mr. Sharpe was about to receive a very lucrative contract based upon his talent and his abilities, and he's extremely capable on television and very knowledgeable, not only as a great former professional athlete, but I believe as a very credible and likable television presentation, that he has great value in his podcast and his positions on television. She knew that, took advantage of it, and I have described this in my opinion. It's my opinion only, that this is classic definition of blackmail, especially when you know the party you're blackmailing is about to be making a lot of money. In my opinion, that gives the greatest leverage to a blackmailer, and I believe there's a reasonable inference that one led to the other. Others might disagree. I'm sure Mr. Busby would make his own argument that this is not blackmail and that this is reasonable and that there's nothing to do with Mr. Sharpe's sudden announcement by somebody else, not by him, about a lucrative contract, had nothing to do with the plaintiff suddenly deciding to break off negotiation after she was offered tens of millions of dollars and suddenly to file a lawsuit. And why she did that and why her lawyer did that is up to them to explain.
The next question is coming from Edward Lewis from TMZ. I just want to be clear, Mr. Sharpe did make his accuser an offer in the tens of millions of dollars range, correct?
In the multiple of 10. That's all I'm willing to say at this point. But yes, the answer is yes, in multiples of 10 million, more than 10 million. I'd like to condition my last answer as I was not in the room for the mediation effort. It is possible it is only 10 million as the last offer. So I'll at least say at least 10 million, subject to my confirming whether there were any numbers exchanged higher than 10 million. So let me correct what I said, that it's at least a $10 million offer that had been made and that they walked away.
Wow, that's crazy right there, man. So now you have to think like, okay, before all this really came about, Shannon Sharpe offered her $10 million to somebody that I guess was supposedly a consensual sexual relationship they had. You know what I'm saying? 19-year-old at the time, and Shannon Sharpe at 56. And now I'm thinking like, you know, you owe somebody $10 million for what? Like, I get the rape thing or whatever, but it's like, what else might come out that Shannon Sharpe don't want to come out? You know what I mean? That's what I'm really thinking. Like, wow, like she really probably got something on Shannon Sharpe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is, but she might have something else. Shannon Sharpe already said they might have a sex tape or whatever. Because in the document that he was recording, I guess for his own self or whatever, but so he wanted to come out. He wanted the full thing to come out, you know. And that recording that she secretly recorded, it wasn't the whole thing, but you know, it still don't make Shannon looks good in this situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Like this is I'm still in awe because like I never really see Shannon Sharpe in this demeanor right here, man. So I'm like in awe. But then again, it's like I don't know this guy. I just know him on TV. So then again, it's like we don't know who these guys is. You know what I'm saying? Behind closed doors. But there are some people that kind of reacting to this thing right here, man. I know Monique was on his podcast one time, and she kind of said that you know you need to date somebody older. You know what I mean? Because Shannon Sharpe said he like dating women like 26 or whatever. And she kind of explained to him that, listen, man, you know, you need to date somebody older. So this kind of might be kind of like biting Shannon in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. It's crazy, man. Wow. This is wild. But let's look at some reactions from other people right quick. So I go to my Instagram. I know the Breakfast Club, they kind of made a comment on it today or yesterday, I think. If I can find it. Let's see. No. No, I can't find. Huh. Let me see. No, I can't find it. But Stephen A. Smith, is Shannon Sharpe's co-host on First Take. He kind of like made a response yesterday, man. Let's look at that right quick.
It's a sad situation. Shannon Sharpe is somebody I work with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharpe is somebody that I brought to ESPN.
Camera going to focus.
Works on First Take, which airs on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. He's been with me every Monday and Tuesday. We've been number one for 13 years and counting. But since Shannon has arrived, obviously he's helped the show immensely. And I can't thank him enough for it. We've grown close as friends. I'd like to believe that. I certainly root for him. I know he's been through a lot in life. He's overcome a lot of things. And when he departed from Fox, I was more than happy to bring him on board here. So all I can speak about is what I know based on the reports. And I can speak about ESPN and Disney. To be clear, even though this podcast, this YouTube show is owned and operated by me solely, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be dismissive of ESPN, who employs me in my daytime job on First Take. So I sit here before you today letting you know that they are aware that this is a subject that I was going to broach, because I owe them that courtesy. With that being said, it's important to point out a couple of things. Number one, I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place, because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person. I know what the reports say. I know the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc. It's all over the internet. It's everywhere. And I know that. I'm fully aware of that. This is not a criminal case. So there is no concern about him going to jail. This is a civil case, which means that he can either be found liable or not liable. The accuser in question is seeking $50 million. That was confirmed by Shannon Sharpe on that video today. According to the reports, it's somebody that he met in 2023, who was 19 years old at that particular moment in time. According to some audio that was put out earlier today by Attorney Busby, you hear the accuser, the female, talking to somebody who is alleged to be Shannon Sharpe. We don't know whether that's true or not. And the person in question, again, we don't know whether it's Shannon or not, the words choke, as in I will choke the hell out of you if I saw you. And so because of that, knowing that audio was probably going to come out along with additional tapes, whether they be video or audio is unclear at this particular moment in time, Shannon Sharpe felt compelled to come out in his own defense. How we to interpret that? Let me be very, very clear about where I'm coming from. I'm a bit torn in terms of his response. On one hand, Tony Busby has sued Jay-Z. He did sue Diddy. He did accuse them, or represented the woman who was accusing them of assault, of sexual assault, and said that she was 13 years of age at the time when talking about Jay-Z and Diddy, and Jay-Z went ballistic and emphatically denied it, wouldn't let it go. The case was dropped, and now he's suing Busby, mentioning words like extortion and other things. So when Shannon Sharpe brought up Mr. Busby in that video that we aired and talked about him being...
All right, man. Stephen A. kind of just, I guess he's kind of defending Shannon Sharpe, but Shannon, Stephen A. Smith signed a big deal for Disney, ESPN First Take or whatever the show. So he's kind of defending Shannon Sharpe and also looking out for his own tail and also kind of explaining to us basically between the lines that Shannon Sharpe might end up being fired. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what all he's been saying throughout that whole little thing right there on his podcast, the Stephen A. Smith show. He basically telling us Shannon Sharpe gonna be fired. So yeah, that's basically what he's talking about. Let's see what else we got, man. Who else kind of else responded? Let me see. Okay, yeah. So this is the Breakfast Club right here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me refresh it.
Now know that Shannon Sharpe did try to settle with his accuser for at least $10 million.
Let me know if my mic's
This was revealed yesterday by his attorney in a phone call that they had with a bunch of different media outlets. But prior to this phone call, and I believe what sparked the phone call, was the fact that there was this audio released by TMZ. But in the audio is a phone call between the accuser and Shannon Sharpe. Let's take a listen to the phone call.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just going to like get mad at and you're just going to hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not going to hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
How old is that girl?
In 2023, she was 19. So,
like 21, 22.
Yeah.
She looks like she's like 12, 13,
I need to
14.
see. I have not seen the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Show just her.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what happened was after this audio was released, at the same time, literally like moments apart, Shannon Sharpe then released a video statement. And in the video statement, he is addressing...
And she's 22, by the way.
22 now. He's addressing what he believes is about to happen, but he doesn't address the audio. Let's take a listen to his video that he posted, Shannon Sharpe.
This is a shakedown. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup. Coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down.
You know, it is a shakedown. It is a targeted attack, but Shannon needed to have some accountability because he gave them something to shake down. He gave them something to target by making poor choices.
Yeah. And when he mentioned her name and the fact that she's an OnlyFans girl, people went and looked her up. So that's how her photos begin to surface. Now, on this phone call that his attorney had with the media, the phone call, the attorney, Shannon Sharpe's attorney, addresses that audio that we heard first. And what he says is that Shannon spoke in the heat of the moment and did not literally mean the words. Then they start having conversations about, the different text messages that have been released. And I printed out the text messages for you guys. Now, one of the things that I want to point out here, because basically what Shannon is saying is that there's this video that's about to come out. They asked people on this phone call with the media to not judge because it's going to be in an edited format, allegedly. And so you won't get the full context. But Shannon had said earlier in his statement, the first statement he released, that there were things that he was doing almost like role play that was he says that this was at the woman's request. And from the look of these text messages, so there's two sets of them. The first text message that came out, Gabby, who's the woman, the accuser. This is from January 2nd, 2025. And this is when she says that she was sexually assaulted. So she's texting him and she's saying that she had cried when he left because she had asked him to put on a condom and she had begged him to not put it in her behind. but he didn't listen. And she says
Jesus.
that she doesn't care what their history is. No means no, right? Then she's like, I don't know how to process this. And then they're like, you know, can I call you later? I guess, can they talk later? But then in other text messages, you see the conversation. It goes from that to her sending text messages that say, I want to be abused, daddy. I want like some hardcore BDSM action though. So, and then she says, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy. And you can see when these text messages were released, you can see it says like from Gabby to owner. So it's painting a picture that their relationship was giving that, you know, there was role play and everything that were happening.
First of all, if you're saying this, Sharpe, you shouldn't be saying anything. Busby and this young woman got audio, video, and text messages. If you know all of those things are out there, you should shut the F up and continue to allow your lawyer to do his job. And your lawyer said out of his own mouth that you was close to a $10 million settlement with that girl. That right there is all the more reason to shut the F up. I'm not here to speak to Shannon's guilt or innocence because I don't know, but I do know attempting to settle looks like an admission of guilt because I'm not settling.
Well, his attorney is saying that these text messages all only show that the woman in question likes and acts for fantasy role playing and other forms of unusual sexual behavior. And they shut down the idea that, you know, they're still denying any sexual assault allegations or anything of that nature. I did reach out to Attorney Busby though, because that audio we listened to, it wasn't in full. It was like a minute, a little.
All right, man. So they're basically saying almost the same thing to everybody else. You know what I mean? But that is another thing that I thought about too, that even though she only famous woman or whatever, like role play or whatever, you know what I mean? That maybe I'm not really trying to give Shannon Sharpe an excuse for why he said he want to choke her, but like she said in the text message, she want to be tied up, she want to be abused. You know what I'm saying? So it's like maybe some role play there going on. So that's probably why he said the choke part and they clipped that part. You know what I'm saying? So this is Monique right here.
Hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
And as I said yesterday, men, we need stability and we need.
Monique basically was saying that, you know, you didn't know the younger women, you know what I'm saying? You need to date somebody your own age. You know, listen, man, this whole situation with Shannon Sharpe is wild. You know, it's wild because, you know, you have a grown man. Shannon Sharpe got kids. I think he got grandkids too, if I'm not mistaken. You know, and you dating this younger woman. And me, man, I don't judge nobody. You know what I'm saying? If you want to date somebody young, that's your prerogative. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna look at you weird. You know what I'm saying? A 56-year-old man dating a younger woman like that. I can see if you say 28 to 35. You know what I'm saying? Because you're 56, so that's not too bad, even though it's still young, but it's not crazy young like that. You know what I'm saying? This person's 19, you're 56 at the time, so that is crazy. But you know, saying all that, man, I'm still all in belief because you know Shannon Sharpe offered her $10 million before all this even came out. You know, $10 million before all this came out, before we even knew anything, before it even got in the blogs or whatever. You're offered a $10 million. So now, like I said in the beginning of this video, that Shannon got to be hiding something else, man. So I don't know what it is. And if it's something crazy, man, you need to go and nip that in the bud and go ahead and give her that money. You know what I'm saying? But $50 million is kind of crazy. But then again, it's like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people calling Shannon Sharpe a predator and all that stuff. I'm not saying the people who saying that is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he like younger women. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But yeah, man, it's wild, man. But that's all I got for now, man. Listen, this is my first live. I'm gonna see how I look when I edit it, not even edit, but when I exit off. Hopefully I might do this again. I don't know, man. This is my first live. You can tell I'm a little shy. Not shy, but a little nervous because I'm like spelling my words and stuff like that, man. But yeah, tell me what y'all think in the comments. Listen, continue to watch my videos, man. I appreciate the people that comment, people that do watch, people that do like my videos. You know, man, I got to be more consistent. I'm not as consistent as I do because I work a lot, but I am going to try to be more consistent, though. You know, but until then, man, tell me what y'all think of the whole situation with Shannon Sharpe. Like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.